Oh, I've got a good one for you guys today. Let's talk about the furry comic Blades of Furry. It's a comic about battle skating. Battle skating is a sport where two opponents go out onto the ice, do tricks to impress the judges, and when one of them thinks they're ahead in points, they immediately attack their opponent to knock them off their skates. Like, no joke, they throw, they pin, they shoulder check until one of them either falls down or gets blasted against one of the guard walls. The only disqualification is drawing blood. So yeah, bumps, bruises, and even wrestling moves are okay, but you can't just, slice a fucker with the blades of your skates. That's just not cool, man. In this surprisingly violent sport, we follow Emil, a 4-point buck who is this year's new Senior League rookie. He championed the Junior League, and now he's up there with the big-timers. He's great at ice skating, but has little actual battle experience. Honestly, I thought Emil was a girl for the longest time. I mean, I read his name as Emily because, well, look at those hips. But he's definitely a guy. We also follow Radu, nicknamed the Dark Prince of Battle Skating, last year's golden medalist of the Senior League. Radu is a vampire bat, so he throws that into his costume motif to intimidate his opponents. I don't know if intimidating is the word I would use for an outfit like that, but the theming is on point, so I like it. Due to a last-minute knee injury, Emil's opponent has to withdraw, so he is instead thrown before the Prince of Battle Skating himself for his very first match. Radu is everything a champion should be. Bigger, stronger, faster, more charismatic. The crowd eats it up. Radu, of course, gets his hands on Emil's tiny femboy waist almost immediately, and a fluke allows him to wiggle free, only to cut himself on his own skates. Now, it's unclear if you can be disqualified for spilling your own blood, so he hides it. But the smell of blood sends Radu into an eye-glowing blood rage where he literally tries to chomp Emil's hand off mid-fight. Luck and simple momentum gives Emil the match, setting up the remainder of events to come. We come to find out that Radu the vampire bat is actually a vampire. Vampires in this comic are honestly pretty tame. They just drink blood instead of eating food like everyone else. They don't have magic powers or die in sunlight. He just has a different diet. The only problem is, because of movies and books and other media, vampires are still thought to be people-eating monsters and really got the short end of the societal stick. If anyone were to find out that Radu is a vampire, he would be disqualified from the Battle League as the organization is still very old-fashioned and does not allow vampires to participate. I'll let you put in either gay or HIV or race theory or whatever metaphor you want to fit into this box. I'm sure you can figure it out. Both Emil and Radu are in a precarious position because of this. Emil actually worships Radu as his battle skating idol, even has posters of the man in his room, and he suddenly has this very private, potentially life-ruining secret about him. He begins to have nightmares about the moment that he pinned Radu on the ice while he wrestles with what to do with the information. However, as time goes on, the nightmares get increasingly violent and erotic because, look at the type of comic we're reading. Dear Boy was simping for Radu before they even met. Now it's gone into overdrive for what appears to be a fairly straightforward biting fetish. When they meet later, Radu begs him to the point of breaking into tears not to tell anyone what he is. Again, he doesn't have super strength or mind powers or anything that would give him an edge in battle skating. he's just different. The only reason that he tried to eat Emil's hand is because the special juice boxes that he's always sucking on for blood had a late shipment, so he was actually skating while hungry. Emil starts to fall for the big dumb softy, and in so doing gets pulled further into the life of his idol, now friend, soon to be boyfriend. I mean, again, this is a BL manga. You can't tell me you didn't expect them to get together. And that's basically the entire premise. Not only do they have to keep Radu's vampirism under wraps, but their budding relationship, as both of them could get disqualified from battle skating if word got out that they were together. There's a lot of sneaking around, being careful who sees them together, lying to the press, everything you'd expect. And of course, because of the type of comic that this is, plenty of saucy skating outfits, scandalous makeout sessions, etc., etc. I'm not gonna lie, this comic gets really spicy. And I don't mean like porno spicy. I couldn't review that on YouTube if they started getting more than a little naked. I mean like a lot of colliding categories of things that are meshing really well. We've got ballet and ice skating, both very sensual sports. We've got the BL aspect, which always lays it on extra thick. We've got the outfits, which, Jesus Christ. The sneaking around bits, which even a teenage reader can understand the thrill of. And we also have little moments of unfiltered lust that just blast out of the panels like you wouldn't believe. I could not buy a physical copy of this because I think it would burst into flame from all the pent-up, fully clothed eroticism that just ignites every time these two sneak away for some alone time. Now, as I do these furry comic reviews, I always try to see if there's anything going on in the background or under the hood as far as metaphor, messages, hidden details, etc., etc. I am the library owl, after all. This is kind of my thing. I try to read every comic twice. Once for enjoyment, and once again to poke at the details for a review like this one. I found a lot. This comic has solid world building and characters with clear motives. There are fleshed out backstories and reasons for why everyone acts the way that they do. I never felt like there were any extra characters or wasted space in terms of casting. Literal background characters that were just filling in space eventually get brought to the foreground, which is more than a little impressive. That means there was a lot of writing and forethought put into this comic before they even put pencil to paper. The world of battle skating is very well explained and nuanced, from earning points on the ice all the way down to courting the press to try and get sponsors for yourself. I'm not joking when I say this is probably one of the best furry comics that I've read. The outfits, the fighting, the passion behind closed doors. It has everything you could want in an action romance comic. Okay. Let me show you what sealed the deal for me and made me love this comic as much as I do. I don't normally like to give away any specific spoilers or anything, but it has to do with Emil and Radu getting together, and you already know that's going to happen anyway, so bear with me. It's not really a story spoiler, if that makes any sense. At the very, very start of the comic, when Emil and Radu initially face off, they of course strike their opening poses before the music starts. Now, look at how Radu is posing. I am bigger than you. I am stronger than you. I am larger than life. I am the gold medal winning champion. And then we look over at Emil, very much the opposite. I am soft. I am elegant. I am graceful. I am a little bit sassy. Now, 20 chapters later, Emil doesn't give the best reaction when Nadu confesses that he wouldn't mind being more than friends. The result is a little ugly without going into any details. How much they would be risking, how close Nadu would be to being exposed as a vampire, whether or not Emil is willing to risk disqualification for his bat boy. Emil is upset and feels like a coward afterward for rejecting Nadu despite their strong feelings for each other. With some time to think and clear his head, he does this on the ice in front of everyone. It's Nadu's opening pose from the very start of the battle skating tournament. You are a part of me. Take my hand. We can be together. All of that and more is said with simple posing and not a single word spoken. That is how powerful this comic is. These two panels are 20 chapters apart, and yet I still recognized the posing because it was so striking the first time I saw it that when Emil does it, it hit my heart like a train. You owe it to yourself to experience this comic. This level of excellent writing, great world building, eroticism, and passion is not something you see in just any furry comic. I cannot stress it enough. 10 out of 10. Fantastic comic. Go read it right now. See you later.